Alright guys, this is gonna be another tutorial on how to play Fiddlesticks in solo threes. So this is when you are playing top lane against another solo. In this video I will be playing against a Brand. Brand is a obviously very good mid. He has a lot of, and by mid I of course mean the solo lane in threes. He has a lot of burst potential. He has stun that's quite annoying. His ult is very painful if other champs are nearby. Luckily it will be a 1v1 so I will not have to worry so much about that. But he is just a really good mage caster with a lot of burst and kind of Malzahar in that he has a lot of range. His ult isn't obviously as deadly as Malzahar's in a 1v1 situation, but if there's more than one, his ult becomes infinitely more deadly. So I'm mainly going to be leveling up W Drain first, because as a solo you just want to have the best sustain possible. This is actually only my second or third game as Fiddlesticks, which may make you think, well, why are you doing this as a tutorial? It's because I actually originally did this as a 1v1 to try and learn him. And then I figured out that he's actually a very good solo, which many of you probably have. I've seen a lot of videos going around about Jungle Shaco and how to jungle with him, but I don't think people are giving enough credit to how much of a terror he is in lane. He has a lot of sustain with his drain move, which will heal me for about 69 health every second. So how long does it last? 5 seconds. So 69 times 5, rough math, that's about 350, I want to say. So around 350 health out of 570. That's if you get your whole drain off, which with fear, you will most of the time get your whole drain off. So I make a few mistakes in this game, and I will point them out. Because originally I was actually Skyping with the person who I was doing this against, and we were kind of joking around. So it's not super serious, but I will try to highlight his abilities, the method in which you level them up, and I'll talk about some differences. In this video, I actually level up my E last, which is kind of his main source of harass, is Dark Wind. I've seen people level it up to the max first. I've seen people go drain first. I've actually even seen terror come first. So it's kind of dependent on what you want to do. In the guide I actually saw, it was basically like you leveled each one up slowly. Like you went Q, W, E, Q, W, E, Q, W, E, getting even points. I'm actually going to back here because I know minions aren't going to get to this point before I do, so it's not really a big deal. Also, I was teasing him, so... So yeah,
Minions have spawned.
Great sustain with his W, great harass with his E, and in team fights his R is deadly. If you can jump into the back, where like if someone initiates the team fight and somehow you can sneak into the back, use your ult, fear one of their AD carries or AP carries, drain them, and maybe throw in a crow store somewhere in there so they don't get like use Nidalee Seal or something. You can do a lot of damage, and you can really tear apart their heavy damage dealers, which is what obviously I'm going to show you kind of how to do that on Brand, and this will obviously apply to any champion you mid against. But so yeah, Brand obviously really strong. I'm going to be fail last hitting because this is my first time trying to use his timings. I'm not sure if W is the right choice to max, but it is a really good skill to have. I'm going to get E for some harass, I believe. And the E does jump off people, and I don't know if it... yeah, it doesn't actually lose damage as it goes like many other bouncing things, so it's actually a great skill to just use as harass. Even if you're not going to hit them, if you can hit a minion near them, it will jump most likely to them. So... yes, a little bit boring starting off. But another thing is the Q. The Q gives you a lot of control and a lot of escapability. If someone does come to gank you and you have a decently leveled Q, you've got about 4 to 5 seconds where they can't do anything. And coupled with your silence, if say a Warwick comes and gets you, you're silencing with your E, because I believe the E has more range than Warwick's ult does. Then you use your Q, or you silence with your Q, and then you fear him if he continues chasing you, and you can definitely make it back to tower. So there's just a lot of survivability. Some of his cooldowns are a bit long in the beginning. Dark Wind definitely around 13 seconds. Terrified 12 seconds. I'm going to actually get all my health back with a little bit of lifesteal on the big minion. Remember, you do want to lifesteal on the big minion, otherwise you're not going to get maximum life back. So you see that I got 2 jumps to him, which did a little bit of damage. I'm going to get my Q, I believe. So I've got Terrify and I've got Lifesteal. And you basically just want to, if you can, E, Q, W. So you silence them, then you Terrify them, and then you can Lifesteal them. So I'm going to go for that combo right here. Terrify and Lifesteal. I get a lot of Lifesteal, so he's going to have to back after that much damage. And I'm completely fine. I've got a good amount of mana. And, ooh, it looks like he didn't back. I could flash in there and just do that same combo. But we weren't really playing this so seriously. But if you are in this position, I would suggest you flash into that. Because there's a very low chance he's going to be able to get off enough spells to actually stun you. So as you can see, I'm already dominating the lane. I have pretty much full lane control at this point. I can free farm. He does back, actually, in that bush. And while I didn't pick up the kill, I am going to start out-leveling him. So I'm going to put all my extra points into Drain. Drain's level 3 now, and I get about 136 health per second for 5 seconds, which rough math tells me that's a lot. Pulling up a calculator on my phone. And we see Brand is back. But I'm going to go Lifesteal him if I can. So that's 680 health. I just calculated that. So obviously a lot of health. I used Q instead of E. I do that in this video. I used the wrong skills. And that was actually really unlucky that the Dark Wind didn't bounce to him. So I'm at a little bit of damage, but I am going to be able to make that up. He's taking a lot of minion fire because he tried to overcommit and to get me. So he has about even health with me, but we're going to see that clean just quickly. I'm going to fear him, and then I'm going to start lifestealing him. And that was actually a big mistake on my part. I didn't realize that he was going to be able to get a stun up that fast. That's alright. I will be able to lifesteal, and I do have Crow Storm. So even a little minion giving me about 200 health, which is a lot of health. So I believe I'm going to go in for the kill in just a little bit. He does not have much health. And I will go for a turret dive. Fiddle, obviously with his ult, which will just tear people apart, coupled with his fear to stop him from getting away. That's just a lot of damage. Alright, this is when I made mistake number 1. He wasn't actually doing that well, and so I don't want to say I let him kill me because he definitely got the stun off and put a lot of damage on me. I also didn't know he reached his ult, which I don't know if he uses in here or not, but it is a big pain. So I'm just going to chase him off. He's going to stun me, he's going to go for the ult, and he's going to ignite me. And that ignite plus Brand's continual playing is going to end me. He obviously was really low on mana, which was why I put out so much and tried to get him so hard. But obviously it was futile. So next time in lane, I'm going to be a little more focused. I'm going to save up for Sorcerer's Shoes and just wait about 30 seconds. Next time I might even consider just start building the Roa right away and start with like a Ruby Crystal instead, or a Sapphire Crystal for that extra mana, instead of buying a Doran's Ring, because I don't really need the extra health with the amount of survivability I have, so that might be a good thing to look into. And that way you're one step closer to your Rod of Ages, which I definitely suggest building right off the bat. It's a good amount of health, and it definitely powers up the longer you are in the game, so you want to get it as early as possible. Also, with that Catalyst passive, it's really nice for when you level up and you're kind of low. Which, as FiddleSticks, while you shouldn't be low that often because you do have Drain, it's just nice to have. So I'm level 7, he's level 7. I'm going to go for a good engage here. I went for the Fear, Silence, and that hit him twice. It's about a third of his health right there. Did take a lot of mana to do that much damage, but it's worth it. I think I'm going to go for the kill in just a little bit. I use the Silence to try and get the free, get a good amount of farm. At really late games, you can just like one-hit creep waves with that farm. So I know he's sitting in those bushes, and I'm just going to let him be. He can try and harass me, but I believe I'm going to kill him when he comes back out. So, as I was saying, when you're laning, just constantly be harassing with that E or that Crow Storm. If you see a good ult, it's really best to save this for team fights, or if you're jungling, you can gank with it. Otherwise, I would say save it for the most part. I think I am going to ult from this bush. Yeah, I see him back off. I'm a little nervous. So obviously I'm a little low. Minions are attacking me. I do fear him, and I am able to just lifesteal a lot of life from him. So let's see, that was probably about 200 to 300 life right there. And he is coming back. I thought he backed, but he didn't, and this is going to be kill number 1 for me. Just go for that crow, fear, life drain, and he's most likely going to die. Or not. Oh yeah, this is where I'm going to pop my ult for the first time. I see that he popped over that wall. I'm taking turret shots, but I flash over the wall, and I get the kill. So, obviously, Flash and Ghost are really effective with the ult to chase people down. Being able to basically keep them in your ult. It does a lot of damage over time, and it's just really effective to keep them in the ult. So I'm actually not going to push this turret because this was just a fun little 1v1. Or maybe I will. So obviously Fiddle doesn't do that much damage to turrets, about 54 per shot, and has a pretty slow attack speed, so it's hard to really push a lane with him other than spamming your E for minion kills. I'm actually going to wait here for Brand, do a little bit of an ambush. So obviously I can take all my life back right there, and he's at about half health after that. I have Crow Storm, about 80-second cooldown, so Crow Storm does have a very long cooldown, so you want to save it for the optimal time. So again, a little bit of lag here, that should clear it up in a sec. So what you guys really need to take away from this is the amount of harass that Fiddle can provide. With his fear and with his life drain, he has so much sustain that it's just, I mean, he's a really fun hero to play, and he's a really easy hero to play too. As you can see, this is my second time in this. My friend actually regularly plays Brand in 1v1s and 3s. Or in 5v5s and 3s. So I'm getting a little bit of lag here. So I'll just clear it up. And yes, much better. Alright. So just trying to clear up the lag. I don't know why it's lagging all of a sudden. So here comes Brandon. I'm actually going to cut. Sorry guys, had a quick lag problem there. So as you can see, and just I'm going to highlight this really quickly. Just going to highlight really quickly the advantages of lane Fiddlesticks versus jungle Fiddlesticks. Well, jungle Fiddlesticks definitely has the surprise, and with his ults can gank very easily. I would really say lane Fiddlesticks is the better answer. I mean, well, not the better answer, but is definitely still viable. As you can see, he had about half health, and if he had probably about 3/4 or maybe even full health, I definitely could have just taken him down with my ult and 2 storms. Especially in a double lane, if they're sitting at about half health, Fiddlesticks can no doubt clean that up. As you can see, just trying to get some extra XP while he's down. But another point to make is I'm already out-leveling Brand by 2, and he's a solo and I'm a solo, which in a solo lane is pretty big to be able to out-level someone by 2. So I don't think lane Fiddlesticks should be discounted as bad just because jungle Fiddlesticks is viable. Yeah, that's what I got. So I think I've covered most of the things. Harass with your E, lifesteal with your W, fear with your Q. Oh, well, that's what they do. As far as runes, I'll just talk about the runes I'm running. I'm running Magic Pen Marks, Mana Regen, Seals, AP per level Quint, or AP per level, those other ones. Glyphs, there we go, sorry. AP per level Glyphs, and AP per level Quints. So I got ignited, I got everything, he just hit me with everything. And he's gonna flash and get the kill. So that was kinda lame. Brand's sustained damage is really lame. I did the fear, but I didn't pop my flash in time. I wasn't actually really paying attention during this part of the game. So I think that was really my second mistake. I don't think I should have died there, but that was a mistake. So you're gonna see kind of his burst potential in a little bit. But as I was saying, I'm running, yeah, so Magic Pen Marks, mana regen per level. I definitely get per level unless you're losing mana before level 4, because past level 4 the mana regen per level is actually much better. So just a general tip. I did mean to get AP, flat AP quints, but I'm going to pick those up next time. So yeah, scaling quints, or scaling AP quints, scaling AP glyphs. Alright, so here's the big thing. Crow Storm, so they don't see it. Run in, fear, so he stays in your Crow Storm, and lifesteal, and that's going to be just a free kill. Obviously, just a lot of damage output. It costs a lot of mana, but you're going to have a mana regen item with your Rod of Ages, I believe. Or just flat mana. Yeah, it's just going to give you a lot of mana, so it's alright to use a lot of mana to get kills at this point in the game. I'm going about 3 and 2. I'm not going to push the lane because obviously this was a 1v1, so pushing lane is just not very nice. And we were just kind of practicing. But if you have no jungle and you are mid, I would definitely suggest, just if your lane's pushed or you just got to kill, go run to Wraiths, lifesteal the big blue one, and use your Crow on the other ones, and you'll be able to pick that up really fast. Or just if you're mid, they're still there, but your lane is pushed, because it's just free XP. That's how you're going to start passing people. That is if you have no jungle. If you have a jungle, don't steal their jungle. That's just, that's really bad. I've had a lot of partners who's done that, or teammates. So I'm just going to sit in this bush. I didn't mean to auto attack, but I'm going to wait for a little bit of a gank. His ganking potential, if you are mid in 5s, is really strong to be able to run down and basically assassinate lanes, because you can just fear them so that everyone can just focus down that person. Same with 3s. These lane distances right here are so small that if you run down to this bush, and maybe even this bush, depending on or not this bush, this section, if you run down to here, oh, here's Brand. I'm just going to lifesteal him. He blew his whole combo on me, and yet I'm still able to lifesteal and get away with more health than he had. As I'm saying, if they're low and they call for a gank, you can get down there so fast as Fiddle, and with a flash over the wall after ult, you're in great shape. So I did let that hit me. That was kind of a mistake on my part, but I am gonna life drain him. Even in tower range, I get more life back than the tower can hit me for. So, and I will have Crow Storm in 3 seconds. So I'm gonna end this with a last kill on Brand, and just leave you with a kind of an advice to maybe try lane FiddleSticks. It is definitely viable. With a lot of AP, he can do a lot of damage. I don't even know if I used Crow Storm to get this kill. I might ult in and then flash and go for the kill. I'm starting to lag a little bit. I want him to think that I went back. That's another key, is deceiving as FiddleSticks is really strong. Alright, getting a lot of... I'm just going to go lifesteal. If you can just get in the jungle and lifesteal, it's a big help. I'm actually liking it really bad right now, so hopefully this doesn't crap out on me. Alright, so with 2 lifesteals, I'm back to full health. Sorry, a little bit of lag there. If I don't get this last kill, I am going to just say this has been a fun video to make. I didn't mean to make a guide with FiddleSticks, but it really is that easy. And I think it was a good laning guide, because I've seen a ton of jungle guides and not many laning guides. I'm going to leave you with this last kill, or try to. I believe I'm going to get this last kill. Go in the bush and ult. Go in the bush and ult. He's gonna die soon, I promise, guys. But yeah, as I've said, FiddleSticks, great laner, a lot of sustain, a lot of damage, good amount of harass. And if I back, then I give up on trying to catch this last kill. I thought he backed for a second, he didn't, and so I'm gonna ult in. Just gonna use my Q to fear him, keep him in range of my ult, and he'll just melt. So that's how you play FiddleSticks. I hope you guys are able to have a successful time. It's just a shit ton of damage, and it's a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you like my video. Comment if you do. Comment if you